Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Good to see you for this Friday night or Saturday afternoon if you're in Australia. Good to see you all. Since I saw you last, the cyclone has decided to just do its own thing. It is now ex-tropical cyclone Alfred, and it's just sort of hanging out. It's just sort of hanging out off the coast of Queensland. It's just not really moving. Hold on, let me load this up. Yeah, it's just still still just hanging out off this little coastal area. Let me show you. It's That's why I didn't come back on. I was watching it all last night. It's still here. It crossed this island, Moreton Island, yeah, late last night, and it looked like it was going full steam ahead, and that it actually looked like it was gonna make landfall further south at one point. The eye actually briefly crossed onto land, and then it came up further north, but it's sort of been sitting in this little bay area near Caboolture for hours. It's just been, uh, grinding away in this area. Now, if I change to precip, you can see where a lot of the rain has been, a lot of that water and wind has been coming across, but it got downgraded overnight, so it was no longer a cyclone. And when it does eventually make landfall, it's probably going to be as a ex-tropical cyclone. So the people in Queensland seem to be doing okay. There is some damage, although stores are already reopening and services are trying to get back online. But last I heard, there was over 300,000 people without power up in Queensland. So that is a lot of people without electricity today that woke up to possibly days and days of no power. So yeah, let me show you one of the satellite images. There's a satellite image of the cyclone. So it's been a sort of uneventful or sort of eventful cyclone, depending on how you want to put it. Unfortunately, it will not break any records. It will not break any records. It seems like it's going to be a bit of a fizzer, unfortunately. Look, I did tell everyone a few days ago, I thought the cyclone itself was, while it did progress and look better, it never really looked like a super strong, uh, very organized cyclone. It was big, had a lot of wind. Um, it just, yeah, it was missing some pieces that I thought would make it, a lot stronger. But it seems like most of the people have been spared. Although I still think northern New South Wales and some of southern Queensland may be in for some big flooding, still. So here you go, have a look at that. So you can see the type of water levels in places. There's a lot of flooding going on, and yeah, so it's not the worst case scenario, but not a great scenario either. Let me show you this one too. You guys can see some of the flooding that's going on. Yeah, not super organized, although it looked better in the final days of it, but not great. Like, it was missing some of the building blocks that you would like to have seen from a tropical cyclone. So they're starting the recovery effort already. Although Australians have a funny sense of humor when it comes to natural events, and if I can find it, I will show it to you, but I don't know if I can. Let me see. People have been posting memes all day. This is a big one from back in the day. They're like, Cyclone Alfred, we will rebuild. And this is funny because when we had an earthquake a number of years ago, this is where that image comes from. There was like this tiny earthquake, and they're like, we will rebuild. So it seems like everyone's having a bit of fun with it. Woo says, my brothers are okay. Brother in Brisbane says it was pretty windy last night. Lots of rain expected from around 4 p.m. today. They're pretty pleased. Yeah, I think most people have escaped the majority of it. But yeah, Australians always got to poke a bit of fun at things and have some humor, like this one too. And it says, "Now tell me, is the cyclone in the room with us right now?" I think that one's pretty funny, especially coming from a true crime channel. So everyone's having a little bit of fun with it in the face of some adversity. How much? I don't know. That's up to you. That's up to you to figure out. But yeah, it's sort of just not a non-event, just not as bad as they thought it was going to be. Which I see a lot of people calling out the Bureau of Meteorology, but imagine if it was the other way, that the Bureau was like, "Oh, nah, this is gonna be a non-event. Don't worry about it. Don't evacuate. Don't close anything. Don't try and, like, plan for anything. It's gonna be fine. Just gonna be a bunch of wind and rain." And then it turned out to be like a monster category 3 or something, and it wiped out half of Brisbane. I think people would be, pretty pissed off. So that's just the way it goes with weather. Sometimes it does what you think it's gonna do, and sometimes it doesn't. And in this particular case, it just didn't. So, uh, same sense of humor as the Scottish, yeah. Good to have a sense of humor, I agree. I'm glad to hear your brothers are doing okay, Woos. I'm glad to hear that. By the way, thank you to my friend Eric, from the docket. He sent me some files on Sarah Boone, and I've been reading through them all morning. And these are like commissary, they're commissary messages that she's been sending through in jail. They have like a messaging system. So I've been reading through them, and I can show you some of it here. So this is from Sarah Boone to Brian and a few others. But you know what I've noticed? So I read through a bunch of these pages of messages from her. Uh, she's very demandative, very demandative. She is abusing Brian constantly, Brian Boone, about money, like all the time. She's always like, "When will you pay? When will you put money on my books? When will you buy me this? When will you buy my that?" Like every day she's talking about, how long until he puts money in, how long until he pays for this, and how long until she gets her, I don't know what they get out of the commissary. They get all different things. Betty C says Sarah Boone is a total nutcase. Oh, I wouldn't say that too loud. We'll get a visit from Hella again. She'll yell at us for being wrong. I I don't know why she was so upset yesterday. She was so upset. I was like, I didn't mean to upset her. Uh, that says here, Brian Boone, yeah, add credits to the tablet. And she says all this. Let me find another one for you. There's a whole bunch of them. She just whinges about not having money. Uh, yeah, she's just always talking about like what she can order, what she can't order, something to say. Like she's talking about going on a project to help children. Where is it? We go up here. Let's see. Oh, it must be further down. But yeah, it's just hundreds of these messages about like, why aren't you putting money on my thing? Why aren't you buying this? Where's my commissary order? And I mean, I get you're in prison. Like that's probably like the only thing you have to talk about. Um, but she's always like yelling at him about something. She's like, please send photos of the dog. Okay. I guess you would miss your pet while you're in jail. Yeah, she's like, this is important. Like, this is how she types. Like, this is important. Please respond. And then there's another one where she sent pages and pages of like, just like random words. Um, yeah, she's talking about receiving gifts for her children or something. Let's go up here. Yeah. So she says, I'm unable to purchase any of these externally through my other resources due to you handling and dispersing funds to me to purchase anything for anyone. Please do not decide what I can and cannot purchase for my son. Please just make the purchase. I will need the totals of each item to record personally and delivery times. Brian, I can purchase anything I want for my son. I think this is something to do with their kid. This is pretty bad if true. This is not the one I was talking about, but it sounds like either they're having some sort of disagreement or about funds. So yeah, she goes, Brian, I can purchase anything I want for my son. Unfortunately, I am forced to have to go through you, not for opinion or delegation, only for purchase. Nothing is harmful, negative, or injurious or detrimental. Everything I purchase or have attempted to have been educational, supporting, and loving. It saddens me incredibly. You made the decision to not purchase a simple teddy bear for his birthday after I explained my reasons and did not have to. Then you lied repeatedly to me. It was purchased and received. So she's saying she told him to purchase it. He said he did, and apparently it did not happen. And then he says, please do not do that again. Please do not encourage our son or include or our son in any of your lies. And she's saying, please, I need a response to this, a timely response to ensure a delivery from Christmas, something about an Amazon.com order. And they have these fights all the time. Let me see if I can find another one for you between these two about credits on this commissary to purchase things. Here, let me go further down for you. Here, please add funds. Please send pictures. Please order packages time 2. Please order hot meals time 2. Please see previous emails. You've not responded before or during your vacation, so I do not know without asking. You make me feel ashamed and embarrassed either way every time. So please give me the courtesy of a response so I can know what to plan on and leave you alone, not having to feel that way, especially during the holidays. Please do not make me have to call you, especially about commissary due today. All my other inquiries and requests having timeframes to order and complete. I've asked repeatedly. Please cooperate and start the year off cohesively and effortless. Thank you. And then she must be happy because this is a different person. She's speaking to someone else. And then here, a little bit later, she's like, why didn't you order, Brian? They just came without calling my name because you will not give me confirmation numbers to ask for rep. I again have nothing for New Year's nor for Christmas, even after asking over and over and over again, starting December 6th, today is the 27th. You couldn't find 5 minutes to order, but kept telling me you would and were going to. Are your holidays complete and even merrier knowing you did nothing so I could have nothing again? Why are you continuously lying to me about everything? Lying about everything. It's just a hot meal that you permit me to have only 2 times a year, not even for Christmas, but keep telling me you would do it and you were going to. How many more times did you want me to ask? Not even a hot meal for Christmas. Thank you, Brian. And then she writes here, correction, today is the 30th. I've been asking since the 6th of December. How out of all the days in between have you not, how between would you not and did you not order after telling me you would and were going to? And she's like, please respond, please respond. And then again here, did you really order, Brian? They just came without calling my name for iCares because you will not give me confirmation. Yeah, again with the confirmation numbers. So this goes on for ages. And she's, yeah, commissary, add funds. She's asking for more money on her commissary book. And then she's asking, what's this? Something about a Christmas thing here. And she's asking for more money. She's like, how many more messages will need to be sent before I receive a simple reply? Remember, they cost money. Do tell Brian, please, or just respond and stop lying. You seriously think with how many times you slander, condescend, and call me annoying, and tell my son I beg all the time? Well, I don't know. I don't know how much that is true, but you often see her asking asking for more credits and money on her thing. I don't think financial coercion of any relationship is a good idea, no matter what Sarah Boone has done. But I don't know how much that is financial coercion in a relationship, or him just trying to ignore her. Uh, when do I? She's asking here when she gets to see her son for a 15-minute Christmas video visit, and him finally be able to open. So apparently, she ordered some gifts, and she wants to watch a video, like a video chat, so she can watch her son open the videos. I think that's very sweet, but you have to wonder with her. And then here, to Brian again, put money on my account to order. It's 9 o'clock and nothing. I have less than an hour to order what measly amount I can since I'm in the negative. Did you not get any of my messages earlier today asking still about everything, or are you ignoring as usual? No answer on your phone or on Luca's phone times three. And then here, she's talking about her son. I don't want to talk about her son. I think that's needs to be kept out of it. But yeah, she says here, look, again and again and again and again and again and again. This is a lot of typing. And again and again and again. It's a very long message. Again and again. It goes for a long time. And again, here we go. We keep going with the messages. And then she asks again, add funds to the tablet. Please add funds. Please add funds to the tablet. Um, and then she says something to, this is a different person. And then she asks again to Brian, still waiting for your cooperation in responding to my messages. I've been waiting since December 6, 2023, asking the same questions. Please respond. And then she asked him again, I'm trying to send a message to my son, but unable to due to not having enough credit. Please add credits to the tablet. $20, please add $20 so I don't have to contact you again this week to add more, and me have to wait until you decide you want to, if at all. I also need to print $20. I'm tired of having to repeatedly ask you for everything. Just put $20, which will last me a while, and I do not have to ask you for no response and delayed completion. As usual and always, I'm waiting on you. Please respond. And this goes on for ages. And then she says here, after she asks for 20, she says, I asked for $20, not $3. I'm using this today. Did you see the waste of money and time you make from not being cooperative? Put $20 on the tablet. I cannot do what I need to do because you are withholding me access to complete anything or have what I lawfully am allowed to have. Why do you hinder progress of everything? And she says, I have to repeatedly ask to have anything. Yeah, it says if you have money for cigarettes and alcohol, our son tells me you purchase on a daily basis. You have money to put on the tablet. Order eye cares, hot meals, Christmas presents, commissary, everything in which the judge said in court, and I have the recorded minutes that I can have whatever I need. The judge said this. Why aren't you responding? I'm going to keep sending messages, also for record, to bring to court. Also, until you cooperate, so the judge and everyone can see how uncooperative you are, how much you lie and cause unnecessary mental and emotional stress every day. On top of everything, I'm already going through and have explained to you, add more credits. A lot of credits going on in the jail, a lot of credits. Patty L says, such a nightmare. I agree. Yeah, the one thing I would say is it's a jail. I mean, you're entitled to some luxuries if you can afford it, that type of thing. I get that. Um, but yeah, you definitely see the type of messages. By the way, thank you to Eric from the docket and my friend Amy. I appreciate both of them. Thank you for sending this to me. You both are amazing. Thank you very much. By the way, I heard from someone that Eric mentioned my channel on his show yesterday. Thank you again. And if you guys are not subscribed to the docket and you like this type of content, I don't show a ton of it on this channel, but Eric does this like every day, and he goes through all these court filings and different court processes, and they do a little live streaming of different hearings and stuff like that. Head over to the docket and subscribe and hang out with Eric sometimes. He's often on during the day. So I'm often on late at night. He's on during like daytime hours in the USA when they're at court. So like between 8 a.m. and like 5 p.m. So hang out with Eric. He's good people. Marjorie said the judge said Brian has to fund her prison purchases. I don't know. I would have to I might shoot an email off to someone and ask. It's not a case I followed a ton. I brought it to you because I thought it was very interesting to get an inside, glimpse into some of these, exchanges from prison. Let me see if I can find anything. Yeah, she says here to Brian again, unfortunately, no response still to any of the over 100 messages after being told Sunday you would respond to a message because you would respond to a message? Okay. Because you don't want to talk to me. I'm having to spend more money you make me beg for and withhold and lie nonstop every time I attempt to communicate with you, either phone or tablet. Same questions and concerns. Commissary, add funds. Last week you forgot and did not add any funds. I'm almost in the negative again from you withholding and do not have any deposits to date from you. Add so I can finally order things I need. And she's just saying like it's taking a long time. A different friend sent her some money, and this I don't want to say their names in case they're private people, but someone else sent her to help her out. Let's see. So she's talking to someone else. Let me see if I can find anything interesting here for you. She's got. She says now to Brian, when being made to call you from no response to any of my now 105 messages, you are actively deciding not to answer and keep lying. You stated you did not schedule an Easter video visit for the second year because you had other priorities and plans which I'm not a part of. Oh, that is brutal. I mean, that sends a message, right? You tell someone that's in jail, yeah, I'm not going to schedule a video visit with you so you can talk to your son, because because we have other priorities and plans which you are not a part of. That is very, very cruel. And she says here, and were confused when you could schedule a 15-minute video visit with me, his mother, who made and emailed an Easter package for him to open on said video visit, and which you withheld from him for 2 days, which you actively decided not to schedule out of the entire day, 15 minutes for me to see my son, after you told me on the phone from being made to call prior to make sure I could see him this year that you would be scheduling even if in the evening, 15 minutes, it's ongoing 12 p.m. Why are you on the porch smoking cigarettes and playing on your phone and he's still in bed? That you could have undeniably have scheduled a 15-minute video visit for me to see my son so he could open the presents I made for him. Since we are still waiting for him to open his Christmas present and card from me, and this is a completely different holiday 4 months later. So you see, they definitely have some sort of issue here about access to her child. I I I, I totally get that. I understand in a way, like you can say what she did was very cruel. She is a very cruel person too. I think everyone sort of should have access to their children if it's court mandated. I think it's very, very sad. Must be a teenager by now. Let's see. I don't want to say his name though. Hold on. So he must be. So they're saying here he was born December 30th, 1999. So he'd be wow. He'd be pretty old. Wait, hold on. Is that correct? Hold on. Says uh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm actually not sure, unfortunately. But you would think by now he would be older. Moonshadow said, "This is humanity." Hey, my friend, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Nanalana, bye. Wait, did she say, "Talk to you all later, have a good evening"? Alright. See you, my friend. Nylon says, "I've never heard of judge order someone to pay them money while in prison." Yeah, I can't say I've ever heard that either, but doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It's more like maybe he's a custodian for some sort of funds, and his name is being put down as, the person who controls her finances, probably. That's what I would think it would be. Retired and said, "She is so demanding, I would ignore her too." Oh, it goes on and on. Marjorie said, "The court has" yeah, stipulated how often her son can have access to her and how the father has to facilitate contact. Yeah, I'm saying it's probably through that video chat, but he's refusing to do it at all. So I don't know how that works. You probably have to tell the court. I hear coming did all right, let's not do that. All right, let's go down. See if he did he ever respond at all? Not on I don't have anything here from him. Maybe he did. Outgoing, Brian Boone. Please Stop Lying is the title here. She says, after waiting 2 more weeks for the food package and him now? Oh, is that like a church online thing? Him now. You told me you ordered, nothing has come. Why? I know for a fact I was in the negative, so I don't know how you could have when you originally told me weeks ago you did. I thought you would add commissary on Wednesday and then order, but you did not do that either. Add or order. Why do you keep lying, Brian? Why won't you just order so I don't have to keep asking? It is very disturbing you keep lying and having me call or write or trying to communicate with you about these simple tasks you are actively deciding not to do. Please order hymnal. Hymnal? Please order delicious delights food package. Please add commissary funds on Wednesday. Please cooperate 150 miles later. And here, Easter video visit. She says, "It is extremely despicable of you not to respond to any of my messages regarding my long anticipated Christmas video visit with my son. Would you have finally told me would you have told me I had scheduled finally in a response or any time I called asking for my $6 hymnal, food package or commissary? I would not have missed it. I bet though it made your day. Another miss out with my son and hindrance by you and from you. Don't think it will go unnoticed with the judge or your son. Encourage my son's relationship with his mother, not discourage, which you go the extra mile, effort, cost, anything to make sure it stays disconnected. Good job, father. It'll come back and bite you one day. So enjoy your fake camaraderie while you can. Encourage 150 miles later. I mean, I don't find it funny that there's a problem with the relationship with her son and her husband. I just think her wording is funny. I don't think people deliberately alienating children from parents is funny. I think that's not cool. That's not a good thing. Um, let's see if we got any others. But yeah, you see, these go on for pages. Like we're only about a quarter of the way through. They just keep going. Like there's just thousands of pages here. But you sort of get the picture, and these go on and on and on. Um, yeah, I guess if you'd like to see the rest of them, I'm pretty sure my friend Eric from the docket has and probably has read through the majority of these. So you can head over to the docket and read some more of these. They're very interesting. Wendy asks, "Is the guy must thoroughly regret ever having got involved with the woman?" Like maybe. Betty C says he's lucky he didn't end up in a suitcase too. That's not funny. A guy died. Yuta says, right, Wendy, I think he's had enough and wants to be completely free of her. It does sound like they're maybe trying to do like a sometimes when people go to prison and you have a parent that's in prison, they just cut off contact with anybody but the adult or a spouse, that type of thing, and no one else contacts them maybe ever again or until they're released from jail. I have seen that before. Perhaps her son doesn't want to contact her. Maybe. Betty said, C said, these were similar to letters she was writing to the judge. No wonder the judge got so annoyed with her at one point. It was like, you have to, you have to stop. Let's see. Do we have anything else interesting here? So she just talks to random people about birthdays and so she's talking to someone called Lana Albert. I don't know who that is, but she says, "Hey, you're beating me to the punch because I've been watching the YouTube videos and getting ready to relay to you. The court isn't specifically calling you an attorney. They are calling you a pro se defendant. Many of the YouTubers and news reporters are labeling you lawyer number 9, but that isn't an official court designation. CLR Bruce Rivers and TLYK were both adamant, as well as the Orlando judge. The reporter interviewed that you will not be allowed leeway because you are pro se. Okay, I'll just relay CLR right now just to brace yourself. He thinks you are guilty, but he's a really good defense lawyer and has been at it for over 30 years. Just glean what you can from his advice and remarks and spit out the bones from his sarcasm. I'm not going to relay the shots he takes at you. You can't make me. Ha ha. Here it goes. Okay. That's very, very long. I am not going to read the rest of that. That is like 20 pages of stuff they're talking about. Megan Sexton. A lot of people on this list. A lot of interesting people. Here she says, again from Lana Albert, incoming, says, "Hey, I fully plan to write to you again and tell you of all the channels you are listed on and what the large ones were saying about you, and my plans to work on your behalf this week. I still plan to do that, but after getting your messages after my relay of CLR Bruce Rivers, I stopped cold in my tracks, so to speak. Sarah, I felt your spirit falter. It broke my heart, and I don't want to do that to you. I won't lie to you. The perception of you out in the public is predominantly negative, and that is in no part thanks to social media echo chamber. Once they decide you are a character in an incoming show, everything you do, say will be painted in that light. That's why I don't bother to relay to you what so called psychology YouTubers say in order to diagnose you without talking to you, which is irresponsible at best and dangerous at worst. Not cool. But before I write you another message telling you about the public's reaction to you, or even the lawyer's advice to you, I want to tell you something that I think is really important. I want to stress to you that this is from me, not YouTubers or whatever, or Redditors. She says, "It's me, Lana Albert, talking to you, Sarah Boone. Here goes." She said, "Listen, I saw something in you while you were talking to the Orange County detective in the interrogation room. She said, I saw goodness in you. You are a good and kind person. I am so sorry you had to fight all your life. I saw someone worth getting to know. I recoiled and flinched just like everyone else when I saw the video you recorded. But I know firsthand what alcohol can do, and I know what happened was an accident and not a malicious attack. Anyways, I see your goodness, and as I've gotten to write to you more and talk to you more, I am more and more convinced that you are a great person who has a great friend, who has become a great friend. You are someone of worth. I wish other people could see the goodness. Sarah Boone, who is in the middle of the fight for her life, but wanting to help me out in the fight, who is worried about me. That makes me want to protect you from people. Yeah, so she's just saying, yeah, here. She goes, that makes me want to protect you from people who would try and use you for their own gain, who would get close to you only to use you for their own fame or money. Think Zav Girl. Whoa, that is a interesting name drop. Many people will give you advice like lawyers and other YouTubers, and people reporters interview like judges and other lawyers. And I believe there is knowledge to give you while I'm spitting out the vitriol. But mine is that you've got to show the judge and the jury and show the state and the detectives and show the world your goodness. You have to believe it in about yourself. I saw you falter in you today, and I spent the rest of the day between things I had to do thinking about what to say to you. The way I see it is that your goodness has to pierce through the narrative, through who people who don't know you. You're not a narcissist. Narcissists only think about themselves and how to use others for their own benefit. You do not overwhelm me. I feel bad that I don't know what you need to know and that there's so much I can't do for you. I'm happy for things I can do and that the questions I can answer, I will. Interesting. Very interesting that they're monitoring all these YouTube channels and the public perception that's going on out there on the YouTube land, including name dropping some very, very big channels and saying that they would only use her for fame or money. Very, very strange. Um, yeah, I think so, yes, but for it must be interesting to get name dropped in a prison message exchange. Let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, so thanks again to Eric. I really appreciate it. Head over to his channel, The Docket, and hang out with Eric sometime. He's got more information like this for you. That's all I'm gonna do. I It's quite an interesting document. If people like it, maybe we can do some more. I have some other things that Eric and Amy have passed to me that I can show you another time maybe, but I don't know if people like this type of stuff on this channel. We don't normally do court records, but I find it just the interpersonal talking between people, especially from someone who's behind bars and going through a trial, is very interesting to see, the way they feel, the way things change throughout their time there, what they need, what they, want, that type of thing. So yeah, this just goes for like 9.6 billion pages. I think we're up to 728 pages on here, and we're only about three quarters three quarters of the way through. Yeah, if you like it, let me know, and I will do more things like this with if I'm allowed to. All right, let's talk about the title. The title of the show. This is very important. This is very important. We have an update on Clint Bonnell, or Bunnell, as Mr. DJ would say. Here. So they started this new page, Find Clint. I think if you haven't been to it, I think you probably should. I don't know if they started it. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, maybe it's been around for a while, at least a couple of weeks. But they got this new logo, Justice for Clint. And if you don't know this, this is the Green Beret case that we've been following. And they released this new statement today, and it says Clint's disappearance has haunted his family and friends for 40 days now, leaving more questions than answers. DNA testing is pending to confirm if the recently discovered body is Clint. A person of interest or suspect remains unnamed. Unnamed. I think we all know who that is. Despite multiple search warrants, the family will fight for justice until satisfied with the answers. They'll push the media to keep Clint's name alive and ask for your help in doing so. Please use the Justice for Clint profile picture to raise awareness. The Bonnell family thanks you for your continued support and prayers. So this is the latest statement from them, and very interesting. So they're having to wait for DNA testing on that body they found in that water near his property. So it seems like it wasn't super obvious that it might be him. They weren't able to ID him from any ID or facial. There wasn't anyone that could maybe ID him visually. So that is very sad. Paddy L said his car was at his house. Wife is the last one to see him. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows that. I think we know that he sent a message saying that he was arriving home and that his car was found at the property. That's all I think we know. April B says, I hope they find out what happened to him and catch whoever did this to him. I agree. Army will have his files, so maybe it's just going to take some time to get that done. But hopefully we get more information as we go along. I agree. Keep Clint's name in everyone's mind. Keep talking about him, and hopefully we'll get a resolution to whoever hurt Clint. Because I don't think he just wandered off and walked into a pond. I don't think he just decided after coming home from a long day to just go for a walk down the road and fall into a body of water. I think there's more to it, and I think we all have a fairly good idea of what is going on here. Hopefully, we'll get the official confirmation of it soon. I would hope so. Yeah, it could be a while. Could be a while. I want to know, where is Shanna Cloud? Where is Shanna Cloud, and what is she doing? Why is it always Stephanie Firkin? Why is it always her doing a lot of the background pushing and work? Why have we never heard from Clint's wife? Why is she not the one that we hear from all the time? So I would like to know more about that. So, Retired RN says hi. Yeah, hi. How are you? Good to see you. Paddy L says, yeah, his car was at his home. Yep. I did find it weird that they did do that search warrant, taped up the whole house, and then just left. Like, no update, no telling us why they taped up the home, just disappeared, left, and said they finished the search warrant. April B said the wife being quiet speaks volumes. Marylander says mysterious. Let me see if I can find, for people who have not been following. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's go to WRAL from a week ago. Just play the little update that they had that day. Let's go here.
We are also following breaking news out of Cumberland County, where this man, 50-year-old Clint Bonnell, a Green Beret who has been missing now for nearly a month. Bonnell was last seen in the Grays Creek area. It was back on January 27th. We can't tell you now. A body was found in a Fayetteville pond yesterday, but authorities aren't confirming the identity. Today, crews are actively searching that pond again, as well as Bonnell's home and property. WRL's Chelsea Donovan joining us now live in Fayetteville. Chelsea, what do we know?
Yeah, you can see the sheriff deputies coming out right now. They've been at Bonnell's home all day long. If you look back, you can see the crime scene tape here. This is a sprawling 14-acre property. They're executing a search warrant here. As you know, Clint Bonnell has been missing about a month. However, his wife, that also lives here behind me, has not come out and spoken to the media, has not offered anything. His sister is concerned about that. Obviously, she says her brother was in a good mental state, not suicidal. He was practicing to be a physician's assistant at a nearby college. And so right now there are just so many more questions than answers. It's a tale of two crime scenes, literally 2 miles apart in the Grays Creek community. Tuesday, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office pulled a body from this pond on Gainey Road, just a mile from 50-year-old Clint Bonnell's home.
They're still over there searching for any additional details that they could find that would help them identify the body.
Can you confirm that Clint Bonnell is in fact dead?
No, we cannot at this time.
In fact, the sheriff's office wouldn't even confirm if the body they found was male or female. But they spent all day here at Bonnell's sprawling home behind these gates, one he shares with his wife, executing a search warrant. Two scenes that have neighbors startled.
What's going through my mind is that I hope it's not Clint.
Bonnell, a retired Green Beret, was reported missing January 27th after he was last seen at his home. He was also studying to become a physician's assistant at nearby Methodist University. And he had just retired from that position at Fort Bragg.
And that's where we That's all the information we got in the last week or so. Nothing else. It's very odd. Carlisa says, "Hi everyone. Hi Ping and Muffin. Muffin is right here. He's sleeping right now. He's curled up in a ball, having an afternoon siesta. Hey Moonlight View. Hey sweetheart. How are you? She gifted a membership to someone. Actually, we might be able to give some away. All right, hold on. I'll give 5 away. Give me a sec." There we go. Gifted 5 away, and I hope they go to people who can't afford a membership or, you know, just want to be a part of it but are unable to financially do it. I'm happy to give as many away as we can. Hope they go to people. Yeah, congratulations. I hate mornings. Did you get one? I hope you did. You may have to turn on gifting if you've never done this before. There's an option within YouTube that you have to turn on the gifting uh, setting, and once you do that, you will be available to accept these type of free memberships. They don't cost anything. They don't charge your credit card at the end of the month or anything. They just expire at the end of the month. So don't think like, oh, it might charge my credit card or something. No, they just die off at the end of the month. So there's no risk there. It's just a free membership for 30 days. But yeah, there you go. And Moonlight View. Yeah, Moonlight View. Don't worry about what I did. Worry about what she did. Really? Okay. Can we give more away? Maybe we can give more. Hold on. All right, there we go. I gave away another 5. Um, random people. That's okay. They can have them. Uh, we'll keep giving them away. Yeah, congratulations to everyone that got one. I appreciate it. Enjoy it. We give you exactly nothing. We give you 20 nothing. You'll get 15 nothing. No, you get some added memberships or whatever in the chat. All right. Let's continue. So if you haven't liked the Find Clint Bonnell page, please do that. If you talk about him on social media and you want to talk about the case, try and help them out. Use the tagline, the hashtag that they want you to use, which is the Justice for Clint hashtag. Use that on social media, on your Twitter, and try keep his name out there. I think this particular missing person investigation is going to. It's as sad as it is. It's not going to be over shortly. I think this is going to be a bit of a journey, unfortunately, and we're here for the long haul. We're going to be here for the entire time. We'll keep following it. We'll keep bringing you new information, and hopefully hold the people accountable for who may have hurt Clint, because I don't think he just walked away from his home and decided to go, you know, swimming in a pond. I don't think that's what happened. All right, that is done and done. If I get more about him, I'll bring it to you. But that's the biggest update we've had in about a week. Other than that, so it sounds like they're waiting on DNA. we'll see what happens with those test results in the future. All right, let me get out of this. All right, we have more stories to talk about tonight, including yeah. So we're going to go to Texas. A person called Taylor Richard, 18 years old. I'm going to take you out to ABC 13 in Houston. Let's watch this.
Breakup ends in a woman's arrest, police say, for revenge porn. She's accused of showing an X-rated video to people at a local bar. ABC 13's Luke Jones spoke to the man in that video, who has a lot of regret tonight. Luke?
Yeah, in no time at all, his life quickly became a living nightmare. People he knows have seen this video, he says, even people he does business with. And now he's hoping against hope that emergency protection order in place is enough to keep this woman out of his life for good.
I really wish I didn't do it.
Michael Bassett regretting the videos he took of he and this woman having sex in his truck on Valentine's Day.
So she had me record it on her phone.
After she allegedly showed them to a bunch of his friends and customers of his diesel maintenance business.
It really is extremely embarrassing. Like, I took those out of confidence, not thinking they would get, I don't got an OnlyFans or anything. I don't sell pictures and stuff of my body.
Bassett says he broke things off with 18-year-old Taylor Richards sometime after the Valentine's Day encounter. Words were exchanged, and then Monday night at his Snapchat group.
Screaming, laughing, man, I did not need to see that, yada, yada, yada.
He calls his friends who were hanging out at District 249, and that's when he learns those Valentine's Day videos he thought had been deleted hadn't.
He goes, bro, Taylor is here showing everybody y'all's videos. And then they start making jokes.
Some of his customers so disturbed by what they'd seen, they decided to part ways, he says.
I can handle my friends messing with me and whatnot. I can't handle when I start losing money.
Richard was arrested that night and charged with unlawful disclosure of intimate video material. Her mom tells us her daughter isn't commenting, but Bassett says she was speaking to him even after her arrest.
She called me from the jail and she was just like, are you going to drop the charges and this, that, and the other? I'm like, no, you have a lesson to learn.
In court,
we've got to save the top case for last.
The magistrate clears the courtroom before delving into Richard's case, ultimately releasing her on a personal recognizance bond and ordering her to stay away from Bassett. But as far as he's concerned, the damage has already been done.
My advice to other young men is just avoid taking videos and whatnot, because tomorrow's promised to nobody. Your relationship is not promised to you tomorrow.
And apparently, neither is your privacy. Luke Jones, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
So not often we hear about the reverse of this. Most of the time we hear about young ladies who have had photos or video taken during an intimate encounter. And this time we hear the reverse, where it is a guy. A little bit of a strange thing. She handed him her phone and asked to record them hooking up. That almost sounded weird to begin with. But hey, we're not kink shaming anyone here. And I find it interesting that when he spoke to her while she was in jail, she asked if those charges were going to be dropped. And he said, no, I don't think so. That shows how, self-absorbed this young lady is, to think that he would go to all of this effort to report it and then get her arrested and then just drop the charges. It's very damaging, and this guy has to now deal with the emotional fallout from all of it. Like he said, he has lost clients at his business because they've seen the videos and things like that. Maria says pics and videos are very common these days. Why? How many have you taken? Let us know. No, I'm just kidding. Retired says, sounds good. What? I want to know what sounds good. I made loaded twice baked potatoes. I am starving. I didn't have dinner last night. So yes, I would like some potatoes. Maria says, yeah, pics are common. Yeah. Lindy, hi sweetheart. How are you? Wasn't hungry till you mentioned it. Yeah, that's right. Moonlight View is corrupting all of us. Thavi says, I'm listening and watching. One of my cats is having a hairball issue. Now we're not hungry. Now we're not hungry. April B says, how embarrassing. I think it is, but at the same time, why did she go around showing people the video? So apparently she was at a bar and she was pulling out her phone, showing people the video of the two of them. Apparently he had even asked her to delete the videos after they broke up with each other, and he had the belief that she had deleted those videos. But on Monday, he learned through his Snapchat group that the videos hadn't been deleted. He said that people were screaming, laughing, saying, "Man, I didn't need to see that." He said he recalled one of his friends who was hanging out at the bar and was told Richard had shown the videos to several of his friends as well as customers of his diesel maintenance business. And then they start making jokes like mickle pickle and things like that. It's extremely embarrassing. I mean, I took those out of confidence, not thinking they would get, I don't know, an OnlyFans or anything. I don't sell pictures or stuff of my body. Bassett said some of his customers were so disturbed by what they had seen, they decided to part ways with his business. He says, I can handle my friends messing with me and whatnot. I can't handle when I start losing money. According to Richard's mom, she said that her daughter wouldn't be commenting on the matter, but Bassett said Richard called him from jail following her arrest, and she was like, are you going to drop those charges? And he's like, no, you have a lesson to learn. Well, she got out anyway on a personal reconnaissance bond, ordered to stay away from him. He just hopes she's addressing her issues and adheres to her protection order, but says the damage has already been done. Yeah, I mean, you can't take it back, right? You can't take it back once you show these videos to people. Yeah, poor guy, yeah. That's probably awkward for people who didn't want to see it. I know, right? Next week he'll have an OnlyFans, maybe. Maybe he will. But yeah. Yeah, sometimes. Moonlight View says rice, then taters, lots of scallions and fresh parsley. Sounds good. I want some of that. I want some of that. Maria said that's why there's laws against it. Something about Gen X men and older wanting to send them. Yeah. Sending pineapple photos, mini pineapples. Yeah, don't film it. I mean, if you're not willing for your grandma to view it, then don't film it because there's a chance, even if it's a 1% chance, there's a chance that your grandma may have to watch that video in case you get, uh, you know, tricked online or a girl loses her phone. You might lose your mobile phone. What if it ends up in the hands of a, unscrupulous person? By the way, there was a new documentary out on the BBC in the UK, and it's about this type of subject about young men being extorted over sending these type of images and videos online. If I can find the name of it, I will tell you. Oh, where is it? It came out this week in the UK. Sorry, I'm looking through my list of documentaries. Aha, I found it. Hunted the Online. Is it that one? Yes, it is. So let me take you to the BBC. It's a pretty good documentary. It's called. Oh, wait, is it this one? Yes, it is this one. Sorry, there was a couple that came out with very similar themes to it. It's from BBC Three. It's called "Hunting the Online Sex Predators," and it's a pretty interesting look at how the algorithm works and how the sextortion works with young men. So if you're interested, give it a watch. Marilander says, I'm a grandma. Why are people sending you naked videos? Kaliza said, seems like she was drunk and wanting to mess with him, so she showed his friends to get back at him. Definitely. Definitely that's what happened. She was hurt that he broke up with her after she slept with him, and she was like, "Well, I got these videos. I can do maximum damage to him." And that's what she did. Now she's in front of a judge. Retired RN says, "I definitely don't want to see these type of videos on my grandkids." Well, you tell them. Don't be sending no pickle dickle videos to anyone. Moonlight View says, "Oh my." Yeah, good documentary. If you haven't seen it yet, it is a pretty good one. By the way, I was watching a second documentary. If you like watching other videos, there's a new documentary out of the UK, which I like my UK documentaries. I find they do true crime very well. Not as cheesy as some of the American ones. There's a new one called, it's from The Guardian, I think. Yeah, I'll show you. It's called The Undercover Police Scandal: Love and Lies Exposed. And what this is about cops who went undercover and had sexual relationships with women and then disappeared. But their job was actually to infiltrate these type of activist type groups, and they had fake names and started fake relationships, but had very real romantic relationships with their, with their, whatever they call them, like the targets that they were trying to get into these uh protesting groups and activist groups and stuff like that. Very, very good documentary, and very interesting to see the way that undercover officers used to do things in the UK. It's called The Undercover Police Scandal, and it's a three-part documentary. Very, very good. And these women might be detectives themselves because they were able to track down a lot of information about these men who acted like ghosts. Like they just ghosted them before ghost was a thing, and they just disappeared from their lives. Some of them had wives, some of them had girlfriends already, some of them, had whole families, and they were out there bedding these women to embed themselves into these activist groups and running, like, almost living a double life. So pretty good documentary if you need something to watch. Of course, The Guardian gave it 5 stars because it's a Guardian documentary. Literally undercover, definitely under the covers. Yes, you're a prude. All right. I don't believe you, Moonlight View. Moonlight View is actually, I'm going to spoil her secrets now. She actually is a nudist. She lives at a nudist colony in California. And every day she goes out there and she does like the sunbaking, does like the, the legs up and the sunbake. That's what she does every day. It's she lives the life of a colonist. That's why she knew so much about that case in California where those people in that nudist colony were murdered. She knew all about it. It's her specialty. All right, let's keep going. All right, here we go. So there was a man who was executed by firing squad tonight in South Carolina. I'm going to take you there and we'll talk about it. His name was Brad Sigmund, and he was executed by firing squad. Brutal. Let's take you over to that story. I don't want to watch it, so we're not going to watch the press conference, but I will take you to the sort of rerun of what happened. Yeah, let's go to NBC.
Sinclair Asamoah joins us now live on set. So, Sinclair, how and why did it go down this way?
Yeah, Tom. So Brad Sigmund chose this method of death, and NBC News can confirm that as of 6:08 p.m. this evening, the 67-year-old died by a firing squad of 3. Sigmund had the choice of electrocution, lethal injection, or firing squad, but this is what he wanted. A metal chair, a hood over his head, and a target over his heart. That is how South Carolina death row inmate Brad Sigmund chose to die, the 4th execution of its kind in 50 years. The 67-year-old was sentenced to death for killing his ex-girlfriend's parents with a baseball bat in 2002. Sigmund's lawyer says his client chose death by firing squad because it offers fewer unknowns than lethal injection.
He knows it's going to break his bones. He knows it's going to destroy his organs. But the alternative is potentially an excruciating 20-minute death.
Sigmund's execution carried out by 3 Department of Corrections volunteers, shooting live rounds of ammunition at his heart.
I want to make sure it's going to be carried out as professionally as possible. And they're pros, they've rehearsed.
Death by firing squad is legal in 4 other states, with Arizona now considering the same. In a U.S. Supreme Court application, Sigmund's defense says in South Carolina's last 3 lethal injections, inmates' deaths took more than 20 minutes, citing state autopsies showing prisoners' lungs filled with blood and fluid, akin to drowning.
A death by firing squad happens almost immediately. It doesn't mean it's not going to be painful, but lethal injection is absolutely painful.
The grandson of Sigmund's victims telling local media Sigmund took away the rock of their family. Sigmund's last words calling for an end to the death penalty. Sinclair Asamoah, NBC News.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated.
So he was executed earlier today by that firing squad. And they're saying here he murdered his ex-girlfriend's parents and he had a final meal of KFC. I mean it is South Carolina. So I mean that's one of the famous places for breaded chicken. So I would think that was very fitting. They're saying a death row inmate who bludgeoned his ex-girlfriend's parents to death with a baseball bat in 2001 has been executed after a final meal of KFC. He was 67 years old, was put to death by firing squad at 6:05 p.m. on Friday at the Broad River Correctional Institute in Columbia, South Carolina. He was declared dead at 6:08, 3 minutes later, by on-site medical staff after 3 prison guards who volunteered for the grisly task fired at his heart with rifles from 15 feet away. His last meal was 4 pieces of fried chicken, green beans, mashed potatoes with gravy, biscuits, cheesecake, and sweet tea. I think he might have got the perfect meal. Fried chicken, cheesecake, gravy, mashed potato, biscuits, sweet tea. That might be the most perfect meal on earth. I think I would choose that, especially the cheesecake. His lawyer released a lengthy statement functioning as Sigmund's last words, which were steeped in biblical references and called for the end of capital punishment. Sigmund was the first person to die from firing squad in the USA since 2010 and just the 4th person since the death penalty resumed 49 years ago after losing a last-minute appeal to spare his life on Friday afternoon. They say dozens of protesters gathered around the prison on Friday to protest against capital punishment, arguing it is inhumane. Firing squad executions are exceedingly rare in the USA. The last one was Ronnie Lee Gardner in Utah in 2010, which was the first time it had been used in 14 years and only the 3rd ever. And here's a photo of him here. You can see a photo. And these are his victims, battering them with a baseball bat. Retired RN said, fun fact, the first KFC was in Salt Lake City, Utah. I did not know that. Utah says, in the USA, KFC tastes better in my opinion. You haven't been to Australia. Australia's KFC is pretty good. But I will say American KFC has better accompaniments, like better sides. You have better mashed potato, better green beans, better gravy, better everything. The chicken, though, I think Australian chicken might be a little bit better, but the sides in America are just amazing compared to down here. Down here we get like hardly anything. We don't get the green bean. We used to, but we don't anymore. They haven't had it in like 20 years. But the American sides are much better. Let's see. Let me take you out to the press conference with his lawyer very briefly. If it'll load, come on, StreamYard. Be my friend tonight. Okay, we'll have to do it the other way.
Hello, my name is Christy Shane, ChrystyShain. I'm the Director of Communications for the South Carolina Department of. The capital punishment sentence of Brad Keith Sigmund was carried out tonight pursuant to the order of the South Carolina Supreme Court and in accordance with state law. The execution was performed at.
Did she just say that she was the communications director? I don't believe she's actually the communications director. Not with that microphone. I mean, maybe we should fire her because that microphone is terrible. I mean, she can't be keeping a very good eye on the communications if that microphone keeps rustling like that. We'll see. Should we fire her? We'll find out.
6:05:50 by a 3-person firing squad and he was pronounced dead by a physician at 6:08 p.m. Sigmund, 67, was sentenced to death in 2002 for murder and burglary in the deaths of David and Gladys Lark. Sigmund used a baseball bat to beat the Larks to death in their Greenville home, April 27, 2001. Sigmund's last statement was read to witnesses by his attorney and is as follows. I want my closing statement to be one of love and a calling to my fellow Christians to help us end the death penalty. An eye for an eye was used as justification to the jury for seeking the death penalty. At that time, I was too ignorant to know how wrong that was. Why? Because we no longer live under the Old Testament law, but now live under the New Testament. Matthew 5:38-39 says, quote, "You have heard that it has been said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you that you do not resist an evil person. Whosoever shall smite me on the right cheek, turn to him as well." Romans 6:14, quote, "For sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are no longer under the law, but," end quote. Nowhere does God in the New Testament give man the authority to kill another man.
I'm sorry, I forgot that apparently the USA, spiritually is governed by God, but I actually think it might be the federal government that tends to make these type of laws. So I'm not sure who he's talking to. Yeah, we might need to fire her. Where is that dog or Doge or whatever they're called? Where are those people? Let's fire her because she can't be the communications director with that microphone. I think we need to issue her with her, severance package and get someone else who knows how to make a microphone work correctly. All right, let's watch just a couple minutes more.
That is why the Bible is divided into the Old Testament and the New Testament. Remember the words of Jesus, John 7:19. Did not Moses give you, yet none of you keep the law. We are now under God's grace and mercy. I have copies for you, and it will also be posted on our website. Witnesses to the execution included 3 members of the Lark family.
All right, I'm going to drop it there. We listened to the final statement. Her microphone is awful, And yeah, I don't want to make you sit through it. But there you go. That happened this evening. I heard that there might be is it Coburger that they might do the firing squad? Hold on. Yeah, it might be. They say Idaho advances firing squad bill ahead of Brian Coburger trial. So it's possible. Maybe. Yeah. Brian Koberger case, Idaho makes key move on firing squad executions. Prosecutors plan to seek capital punishment for Koberger if he is convicted at trial later this year. So there you go. Like a Timu microphone, it could be. Yuda says, "I'm hungry now, but too early for breakfast." I'm hungry too. I think I might get a pizza after we get out of here tonight. Ping might get pizza for dinner. Let's see. Let's see if I have any other cases. So we did the one in Texas. We did this one. All right, hold on. Good work, Ping. Good work. Yeah, you guys all heard about Gene Hackman and his wife, how they died. That is very similar to what we're all thinking when it first happened. It's very sad. Yeah, what a very sad and very public end to their lives. I mean, awful. All right, let's head over to KUTV. I want to show you something. I want to show you something. And then I open up the, trench coat. All right. They say Box Elder County judge accused of multiple child X crimes. They're saying here Kevin Christensen, a first district justice court judge, is facing charges for multiple of those crimes. He was immediately placed on admin leave pending an investigation. Christensen, 64, was arrested on suspicion of enticing a minor in sexual activity, a second-degree felony. Enticing a minor in sexual activity, a third-degree felony, and 2 counts of dealing in materials harmful to a minor, both third-degree felonies, and 2 counts of attempted sexual exploitation of a minor, both third-degree felonies. On February 28th, investigators working on the FBI's Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force became aware of an individual in Box Elder County, using an app to communicate with others about SA, CSAM, all those type of things, according to the affidavit. They're saying Christensen was allegedly chatting with and sending explicit photos to several children. In chats with adults, the affidavit states Christensen expressed interest in young children and solicited CSAM material from those users. He is accused of distributing CSAM as well. These actions show that Christensen is a clear danger to the community. The affidavit states that during chats with users, he made multiple references to having SA'd relative children. Those allegations are now under investigation. Because he is a sitting court judge, he is a greater danger to flee to avoid prosecution, according to the court documents. The position he holds of trust in the community and the actions he undertook while in this position significantly undermine the confidence in the community in the legitimacy of the criminal justice system. So there you go. Apparently, he was taken into custody by the FBI on March 6, 2025. And per Box Elder County policy, he was immediately placed on admin leave. They say the Supreme Court of Utah also officially placed him on admin leave without pay as of March 7, 2025. So we will see what happens with this one. But this is like the third judge I've seen recently arrested for something to do with children. Pretty disturbing. Let me try and find up here. Let me try and get you a update. No. Hold on, guys. No. Let's go to Fox 13 News in Utah. Maybe they have something. Yeah, they do.
A judge in Box Elder County has been arrested on multiple child sex abuse charges. Court documents indicate 64-year-old Kevin Robert Christensen was arrested yesterday following an investigation by an FBI task force. Agents uncovered multiple online chats where Christensen allegedly sent sexually graphic content with an apparent 13 and 16-year-old, while allegedly admitting in other online chats that he sexually abused children to whom he was related. He was booked into the Davis County Jail and faces several charges, including enticing a minor and attempted sexual exploitation of a minor.
Yes, it is the same county where Dylan Rounds was murdered. So same place in Utah. Same one. April B says he should definitely have known better. Definitely. Moonshadow said it is scary. I agree, my friend. Hey, good to see you. Retired RN, yep. Utah says disgusting. I agree. I agree. He's very vile. Considering the position of authority that he held in the county, the fact he was doing this so brazenly that the FBI task force picked him up in a chat with like-minded people. You have to go back through all of his officiating through every court case he has ever done and have to go over it with a review. You know, any type of case that he's done, any type of child exploitation or anything like that, you have to go back now and see what sentences were they above the mean or below the average or whatever. You have to look at all of it because he can't be trusted. A judge has to be trusted. April B said, did they say the children he was related to? Yes. So in the other article, it said that he was bragging in a chat online that he had abused children he was related to. So definitely. Mamma Mia said doing that to his own family members too. I know. Gayla says, I hope people don't get out because of him. Very possible. Khaliza said that county is very corrupt. It's common when law enforcement is not monitored by any other agency. That county definitely had a lot of problems in the Dylan Rounds investigation. We do know that. Let's go to KSL. Do they have anything for us? So KSL says that he was attempting to cover up his involvement using a Kik account, and multiple chat threads of interest were found when they recovered that Kik account. They say, according to police, investigators found one chat where Christensen talked to another user who said she was 13 years old. In the chat, he directs the conversation towards sexual topics and engages in graphic sexual chat with the child. In another chat with a girl who said she was 16, Christensen engaged in a graphic sexual conversation with the child and likely sent her explicit photos of himself, although investigators weren't able to see the photos in their recovery. Guys, hold on. I need a drink. Hold on. All right, let's go back. Yeah, so they said at this time there is extensive evidence suggesting the defendant has communicated with multiple underage people online. There is also evidence supporting that the defendant has engaged in disturbing and engaged in distributing and receiving CSAM over the internet. Geez, this cold. They're saying these actions show that the defendant is a clear danger to the community. The statement said Christensen has special privileges to fly anywhere in the world for free, making him a danger to flee prosecution if he was ever released on bail. The position of trust he holds in the community and the actions he undertook while in the position significantly undermine the confidence of the community in the legitimacy of the criminal justice system. The judge granted an order to hold Christensen without bail due to the evidence provided by police, according to court documents. A bio for him on the Utah State Court website said he often speaks to various youth and civic groups about the structure and function of the court system. KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas indicated that this should not have an impact on his prior cases. It says here that he's a misdemeanor court judge, traffic court, that kind of thing. So I don't think that these charges alone would cause any interruption to any cases he's heard or done. Okay. So he didn't deal with any like Supreme Court, high level, that type of thing. Yep, no bail, no bail. There used to be a TV show in the USA about a judge from Rhode Island that used to do like traffic court, and I love that show. But apparently, the local government made him cancel the show and kicked him out of being a judge. Do you guys know about this? What's his name? Hold on. Yeah, Judge Frank Caprio. He had a show called Court in Providence. I love that show. What a great fun, warm-hearted TV show that was. But they said that he had to cancel the show and hand in his resignation because he was profiteering from the court. So basically, his TV show was somehow gaining money from the public courthouse. So they said that he had to cancel the show and basically retire. But I love that show. It was a great sort of warm-hearted show. Frank was a good guy. And there you go, Caught in Providence. I love that show. And it was a great show. It's a shame it is now finished. It has been over for a couple of years now. I actually found it during the pandemic, and it made me feel good during the pandemic to know that there was a judge out there, trying to help people and stuff like that. April B said, heard his name before, but never watched it. He has a YouTube channel where you can watch a bunch of them for free. So maybe watch it after you get out of here. Gayla says, oh my God, yes, I watched him. Yeah, so they actually got rid of him. If I can find it, I will show you the thing about it. Yeah, here. Okay, it was 14th of January 2023.
New reaction tonight as Chief Judge Frank Caprio announces he will be retiring from Providence Municipal Court after nearly 40 years of service. I'm Mike Montecalvo.
And I'm Shannon Heggie. The news comes amid increased scrutiny of his popular TV show and its relationship with the city. 12 News reporter Kayla Fish spoke to one of his close friends as well as the leader of one of the state's watchdog groups and joins us with what they're saying tonight. Kayla? Well, first, in terms of the show's future, the judge's brother, Joe Caprio, wrote on social media that the show will no longer be filming in municipal court now that Frank Caprio is retiring. But there are still questions about what happens next.
People are going to miss him.
After 38 years as a judge, Frank Caprio is retiring from Providence Municipal Court.
Former Mayor Joe Paolino, whom Caprio called a driving force behind his first election as judge in 1985, tells 12 News Caprio brought great stature to the bench as well as notoriety.
And whenever you talk to people outside of Rhode Island, and even in other parts of the world, and you mention you're from Rhode Island, people say, do you know who Judge Caprio is?
That fame, the result of the Caught in Providence TV show produced by Caprio's family members inside the court, which boomed in popularity in recent years thanks to a national syndication and viral social media moments. But with a new city council and new leadership came new questions about the show. Earlier this week, the council president asked the city's top lawyer to conduct a review of the show as it relates to ethics rules.
The way the court happens is really sort of happening to be a TV show that the family is, making what appears to be a large amount of money.
John Marion with Common Cause Rhode Island argues even though on the outside the show appears good, it should have never been allowed to happen inside a public courtroom.
We don't let other folks profit or their families profit off their public office. We just need all public officials to meet that standard.
Caprio has offered to volunteer on the court and could be given a chief emeritus unpaid title.
So they declined to give him that title, which would allow him to volunteer and film in the courtroom, but they declined to give him that position, which I think is very sad. I understand the legalities of it and the ethical boundary. I do. But there have to have been a way they could have made this work. I think he showed, one, that traffic court doesn't have to be scary for people, that you can come in and get your problems sorted out and not let them, continue for years, right? You can come in and get it sorted out in a day and, not let it hang on and get worse and stuff like that. And I think he did a good job of bridging that gap between the court and the public and, keeping that community atmosphere alive. I think there could have been a way to make it work. Unfortunately, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer not long after he left the show and his job. He actually had pancreatic cancer. Gail said they were annoyed they weren't getting money from it, probably. April B said, couldn't they have made a way for some of the money to go to the town/county? Kind of sad. Yeah, they could have done a deal where they can film like one day a week, maybe in the evening when they're not doing other court cases or something. And they could have split the profit with the production company and it could have gone back into the good work that he was doing for community members in Providence. So Gail said lots of kids had good experiences in his court. Yeah, he even had a fund. He had a fund of money where people would send in money from all over the world, and he would pay for people's fines out of that money when they were really down and out, when they really had no money, they couldn't pay their fines. He would either try and get it dismissed, or he would like pay the fine off out of the fund. Yeah, he donated. Well, he gave money to people's fines to get them paid off. He's a good guy, and I think it's a shame that Providence couldn't figure out a solution that fit the ethical boundary and kept it, intact, and allowed the good promotion of Providence and the community feeling, keeping it positive and the relationship with the public. I think it did more good than harm. So, yeah, it's a shame. The show is done. It is finished, and they are not filming anymore. So that is a shame. But yeah, if you want to watch any of the old episodes, they are on the Court in Providence YouTube channel, so you can watch them all you want. All right, hold on a sec. All right, there we go. Yeah, they probably were annoyed they weren't making the city any money from it, which I understand. All right. Let's go here. Let's take a look into what's going on with the cyclone quickly. Let's see, did it finally make it over land? No. Cyclone Alfred still churning away off the coast, yet to make landfall. They say the Bureau of Meteorology confirmed just after 4 p.m. Saturday that the weather system was sitting off the coast of Bribie Island between Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast. Senior meteorologist Christy Johnson said it would still take hours to reach the mainland. So it still hasn't made landfall. They are still waiting for it to hit the land. That is brutal. It's been like that for over 12 hours, if not more. Here it is, right here. You can see the cyclone right there. Let's play the video. Let's see how far it's moved in 12 hours. There you can see it is not going anywhere. It's just spinning away. It likes where it is. It likes Queensland. It doesn't want to make landfall. It's like, I'm not ready to die. I'm not ready to die yet. I want to live a long life as a cyclone. Gala says he's waiting for everyone to relax and it's going to hit. Probably. But as you can see, it just doesn't want to cross over. It just wants to... It says, I don't want to become I don't want to become a tropical low. I just want to be a real boy. I want to be a real cyclone. Yeah, so still no movement on that at all. Let's see what it says on the other one. Let's go. Yeah, it's still showing it. Oh, it does this. Come on. Yeah, but you can see, oh, geez. See, it did it again. It reset me all the way back out here. Here we go. All right, let's go slower. Doesn't like it when you zoom in too quickly. All right, there you go. You can see the eye right there. Right there. It's sitting right between this island, the Moreton Island, and the mainland. This is the eye of the cyclone right there. You know what's interesting? This island right here, I think, is where the babies were born yesterday. The twin babies that were delivered just before the cyclone. So there is a brand new mum on that island, just going through this cyclone. Unfortunately, let's see what those wave heights have come down dramatically by about 50%. Those wave heights are nowhere near as big as they were about 24 hours ago. Yeah, much less. Let's see, radar. Still getting a lot of rain though. This is live radar, and you see those bands coming ashore and dumping rain, especially around the Gold Coast. Look at that. Getting a lot of rain on our friends in the Gold Coast, where we had a look yesterday at all the waterways and different water systems they have down there. So yeah, it is not being a good cyclone and making landfall. Let's go here, wind speed. How are the wind speeds doing? Yeah, those wind speeds those wind speeds have come down. They're not as severe. Even the wind gusts have come down quite a lot. Although you see here, still 144 kilometers an hour. Still plenty fast. 144, 145. Still some pretty 147. Seeing some pretty high wind speeds still on shore, so still providing some rain, hail, thunderstorms. Gail said it's celebrating the birth of the twins. Yeah. All right. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here for tonight. All right. By the way, I hope Penguin had a great birthday. I hope Penguin had a great birthday the other day. By the way, Woos, I saw your video, but again, I can't play it, my friend. I'm sorry. I'd love to play it, but our media thing does not accept that file format. Let me go down here. Let me see what it is. Go here. Oh, it looks pretty good out where you are, Woos. It's like it's very overcast. Not a ton of rain. Not a ton of rain. It just looks like an overcast day where you are. So, or where? Ah, from Coolum. This must be your son. Must be where your kids are. Just looks like an overcast day. Doesn't look that bad. All right, let's check one more thing, and then we'll get you out of here for the night. Let's see, what other updates do we have? Alfred's impact on the Gold Coast in pictures. Yeah, a lot of trees down. A lot of look at that. That's very annoying. Those poor people. That little garage / office is crushed, unfortunately. Those poor people are gonna have a long insurance thing for that. Let me see if I can see anything. Oh, by the way, a 61-year-old man was apparently swept away into raging floodwaters on Friday afternoon in northern New South Wales. They are still trying to find him. They have not been able to locate him at all, and the search is on trying to find him. Yeah, search continues for him. Yeah, I'm going to take you to a news article for it. Apparently, they 4 hours ago have not located him.
Now to reporter Sarah Gerethy at the State Emergency Operations Centre in Sydney. Sarah, so what can you tell us about the latest situation in terms of warnings and rescues in New South Wales?
Well, look, Joe, there are currently dozens of emergency warnings in place across the state, in the northern area of the state, of course. More than 19,000 residents have been instructed by the State Emergency Service to evacuate now before it becomes too dangerous when the hurricane hits. The cyclone hits, I should say. Evacuation orders are in place in a huge range of areas across the north of the state, including Lismore, Kyogle, Bowraville, Maxville, and parts of Port Macquarie, so that far down the coast. And the advice is that you should seek shelter with a friend or a relative if they're close by, and if not, to head to an evacuation centre, although people are being asked not to travel on the roads unless they are doing so, obviously to clear the way for those that need to leave their residences and also for emergency services. Now, the Premier, Chris Minns, earlier today said that most people are heeding that advice to evacuate and to leave, but he did stress that that means that if you choose to head today, that it is concerned, because obviously as this weather front can
evacuate
treatment plants and washing the north of the state that have not had power. The Prime Minister and are expecting to see more of the weather hitting as well as to evacuate.
All right, sorry, that was a very poor update, but my research tells me that they are still looking for that man near Dorrigo in northern New South Wales, and they have not been able to find him. They say authorities continue to search for a missing man swept into floodwaters on Friday afternoon near Megan in New South Wales, northeast of Dorrigo. Yeah, let's have a look.
Now, authorities are continuing to search for a man who was swept away by floodwaters in the north of New South Wales. We just heard from police a short time ago. Our reporter Digby Worthmuller was there and joins us now live. What is the latest, Digby?
Yeah, that police press conference has just wrapped up here at the Coffs Harbour Police Station. And it was during that press conference that we got a little bit more information into that missing man that was swept away by floodwaters a little after 2 p.m. yesterday. He was in his four-wheel drive truck crossing a bridge up near the Orara River, up sort of that sort of general direction up that way, when the floodwaters swept his vehicle into the water, and he was then able to get out of that vehicle, climb a tree, and contact emergency services. But emergency services were probably on the phone for him for a little over an hour before they lost contact with him, and he was swept away under the waters. Today at this press conference, we found out that it is a man who is 61 years old, and he is a local in the area. Police are also in communication with his family as the search is being hampered by the weather conditions. Police have been unable, and search and rescue have been unable to get any helicopters airborne due to the weather conditions. It's just too windy for them to safely get the aircraft into the air to help search with those efforts. And officers and search crews on the grounds are really struggling to get to the point of interest where they need to go, because a lot of those access routes are just cut off. There's too much flooding in that area. The river levels have been slowly and steadily rising after what has been days of rain. And so the weather overall is just dampening any attempts to try and locate this man and his vehicle. Speaking at the press conference, police couldn't give much more detail than what I've just been able to relay to you now. Here's a little bit of what the New South
I'm going to leave it there, but yes, still trying to locate that 61-year-old man. Unfortunately, he seems to be like the only presumed death in the cyclone so far. Yeah, it does look very treacherous still out there right now, even though a lot of people are making fun of Cyclone Alfred not being as dramatic and devastating as what they thought. And the fact it still hasn't made landfall is very somewhat amusing. That they were like, it's going to be like 10 o'clock, it's going to be 5 o'clock, it's going to be 7 o'clock, it's going to be 8 o'clock. They just kept moving the time. So who knows? When will it make landfall? I don't know. Maybe by tomorrow. Maybe it'll just disappear into nothing, and it just won't progress any further. Could do. All right. Good night, my friends. Hey, I love you all very much. Hey, Sienna, out of Arizona. Good to see you, my friend. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be feeling a little bit better. This cold has been kicking my butt. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Saturday night. Hey, we'll do Saturday night together. You won't get any woo-woo on here, but we will do more true crime and more stories from around the world tomorrow night. Gayla says, thank you. Yes, I will. Thank you for moderating. I appreciate it. Gayla, Thavi, and Moonlight View were here tonight. I appreciate you all. And I will see you tomorrow for more true crime updates, okay? Love you all. Good night. Bye-bye. Bye. See you later. Bye.